Podcast.
Welcome, guys, to our 8th episode of the Anikami Podcast. We're 8 episodes in now. It's awesome. Still, and we talked in our 5th episode about the spring season of this year. And this time we want to see what is the result. The spring season is over, and let's see if our recommendations and our favorite animes of this season still stayed our favorite animes. But first of all, we want to say, of course, thank you to you all, and thank you for watching our last episodes. And we totally appreciate it. And please follow us in YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Spotify. You can find us everywhere. I don't know if we're on iTunes. We're kind of trying to be there, but it's a bit more complicated than we thought. But yeah, we're doing our best, and it's great if you support us, and we see that people like what we are doing. Thank you for that.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
So, Lucas, as we have our tradition, what did you watch in the last month without, which was not part of the spring season, basically?
What I watched in the last month, I've been still watching a lot of movies. Last, I think last week or it was 2 weeks ago, I watched Wolf Children. It's a really, really cool movie. It's not so popular, I think. I don't know if I've never seen people talking much about this, but it was so good, like really, really good. It's about a mother who has kind of married a werewolf and has 2 children. So, and the movie is basically the kids growing up, and it's really good. It's the characters are so cool, and they feel like real people, and they are completely different from each other, and it's really interesting to see like the characters developing, growing up, and yeah, I can only recommend this seriously. If you have some time to spare, it's only 2 hours, I think. You should just watch this. It's definitely enjoyable, definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, I have this myself for really, really long on my list already. Even before I had my anime list account, I had it already on my movie pilot, so movie list already, because I was more watching movies than animes. And still, then I had it already there and was always interested, but I didn't get to watch it yet. So perhaps this is now the last push I needed to start
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah. Besides that, I started to watch also Digimon Adventure, the new one. Um, I think it's 2021 or 2020, something like this. It's the new installment of Digimon, kind of a remake of the first Digimon. And I'm like up to this point is I'm on episode 16. I think it's still being released, but I'm liking it up to this point. It reminds me of the original Digimon, of course. It's good for the nostalgia, but yeah, it's also entertaining. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm also watching this. I'm at episode 48, I think, or so. And yeah, the problem is it like later it becomes like more monster of the day. So the story doesn't progress as much as it did in the first episodes. That's my main issue. And in the first episodes, I really had big issues accepting that the music is different, because this music when they fight, it was always for me like so important. I was always like, oh yeah, this music, and it just felt so and then this music changed, and I was like, I cannot accept this, but I got used to it
But
now. It's cool. The
unfortunately,
music is also good.
yeah, unfortunately, it was. I don't think it would be possible to keep the old music because Wada Koji he died, I think five
Oh
years
shit,
ago, and
okay,
he
I didn't know
was,
that.
yeah, and he was the one who sang and composed the I
Oh
think the
damn.
opening and also the battle theme from Digimon. So I think yeah, he died. I think from a cancer or something. But yeah, sadly,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, the opening is also really good. Um, I like that
Yes,
a lot. No,
yeah, for
after
sure. I
48 episodes, it's
yeah, that's something I just in the last episodes I was watching, I commented with Jose, our friend, that so he's also watching with me, and I was telling him that yeah, this music it's not as good as the original one, but it's still really good. I like the battle music and the opening as well. It's really cool.
cool, nice. Yeah, I'm curious where it will go to. I hope that there will be some story. I'm also now, I think, 6 episodes behind or so, and I think there will be only 66 episodes or something around that. So it should be over quite soon. Let's
Hmm.
see where it will go to. Um,
And what about you? Are you watching something
yeah,
besides the seasonal stuff?
yeah, I'm watching. Wait, watching Date Alive right now. And I finished today the second season of it. So I
Ah.
watched the last episode of the second season. And how to explain Date Alive? I would say it's a harem anime, but a kind of special harem anime in that way because um, it has a lot of comedy, which is for harem okay normal, but it also is really a lot of sci-fi, and also magic in there, like magical girl stuff kind of mixture in there. And what is it about? So um, there are entities. It's a bit like Neon Genesis Evangelion, so in the beginning at least. There are entities which attack the world, and there is a unit fighting against those entities, of course with girls with gliders or something. I don't know. Like with mecha stuff like on them. um, and there is this one guy, and they find out that he seems to be able to defeat the entities in a different way. So they are fighting against those entities, and they ask him then to help them, and they basically find out that these entities are not really like bad angels like you have it in Neon Genesis, and they are called ghosts in this anime. um, Instead, these entities are girls, and basically when these girls are spawning, they cause this destruction, and then they get attacked by this army, and then they fight against each other. So yeah, of course they don't want to, so they really don't want to destroy the world, but as they get attacked by the others, then they of course try to defend themselves and then cause huge destructions. And also all people always get evacuated, so the whole place changes, like walls get up and so on. So really like Neon Genesis a bit. um and the other way to fight those entities is this boy, and this boy can basically fight those entities by going with them on a date. So he has to basically attract them and go then on a date with them, and by this he can seal their powers away, and then they become kind of normal girls. So, and it is happening in the end if they kiss him after the date. And this sounds already really strange, but the best thing now is then this guy who is really not so much interested into all those girls in the beginning, at least, and in general he's not like this typical harem character. Oh, I have all the girls, and he's really like more the girls like him, but he's not really so much interested in all the girls. And he's then he is going with those girls and talking with these girls, and in the ship which is floating above them, the army has like 6 experts who are all like then sees 3 options what he can tell to these girls, so a bit like a visual novel. And then all these experts, which is one is like yeah, it's a guy who is dating a lot of girls, the other one is the father of 10 kids or so on. and then they basically choose, and he gets then the answer through an earpiece told, and he's just telling this to the girl, no matter what it is. If it is give me your panties, or I like your boobs, or whatever it is, he's just saying it. Even so, he really doesn't like in some point what he has to say, but he's just saying it. And yeah, it's kind of funny, like all these ideas in that. And also, if the experts opinions are not enough, then they also have a game which is basically exactly like a visual novel then, right? And where they get then from the people who played the game the answers. So they show these to these people the same options in the game, and ask then these people, hey, what would be your answer, and then to transfer this information to him, and he uses that. And yeah, that's basically how this harem builds up. So there is always new entities coming, and he basically seals those girls, and then they, because he went on a date with them, right? And he had to basically to not destroy the world, he had to link them to the world by loving him. So they are all kind of then in the end in love more or less with him, but he's not really in love with them. So he's a nice guy. Reminds me sometimes a bit of Subaru, but a bit more bland, I would say. Um, yeah, that's how it goes on, and it just becomes more and more. And it also has a story, and it doesn't take itself serious, so it's really over the top from time to time. But that's why it has such cool ideas, and also the designs of the girls are really cool. Basically, I started watching this again because of a figure I found. And of Kurumi, and it's the girl who has one eye is basically a clock, and she can turn back time, and uses basically time for fighting, and can also clone herself. So yeah, they have interesting abilities. So these girls are kind of like magical girls with special magic abilities, and then it becomes more and more. So the second season is really like making everything bigger, more fan service than the first season. Also, like everything bigger than it is. And I saw also the fourth season is coming out next. So I think the next winter season, perhaps, or perhaps even earlier. At least I thought the fourth season is also coming. So I didn't even know that. I thought it's finished already. So yeah, I've got also something there to look forward. And you can also watch it on Netflix, which is quite cool.
Nice, nice. Yeah, every time I heard about this Data Life, I was confusing with Love Life, which is an idol anime. I was thinking, okay, this is another idol anime. I don't want to check it. But yeah, it sounds really cool when you explain it like that.
Yeah, it has not the most awesome animation. More the character design is cool. But yeah, it's definitely fun to watch, and it's also not too complicated. So it's no pets or something like this where you like have to be all the time like, oh my god, what is happening? What is happening? It's really cute, funny. Yeah.
Cool.
So then let's move to our huge topic of this episode. So, which animes in the end did we really like of this season? Which are our top three? So, Lucas, you had, if I remember correctly, in the fifth episode, it was Fumetsu no Anata E, Higehiro, and Shaman King were your
Correct.
top three, I
Correct.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Fumetsu, then Shaman King, then Higehiro, right?
So, what's your third place now?
Yeah, so my third place now is 86.
Oh,
So this is an anime about the it's a kind of not post-apocalyptical, but the world is going through a war. So there is a nation who is in war with another nation, a kind of a zombie robot nation, and they are trying to invade this nation. But what what are they doing to defend is to use like people from one specific district. This district 86, which is the name of the anime from.
Just
And
shortly, so there will be also spoilers in this episode. I mean, we cannot talk about the. We will
yeah,
try to not spoil the endings, at least of the episode.
yeah,
Animes
exactly,
we'll talk about, but there will be definitely some spoilers.
for sure. Yeah, so disclaimer. Yeah, so just talking in general lines, there is this robot army, and the way they are trying to defend their country is by using people from one specific district, the District 86. They are using them as kind of as slaves, or like really, like it's really kind of slaves, and they are not treating them even like human. They don't count those people when they die as like a human died, so just like an object die, or just a battle machine die. And the story is just follows the this squadron, and the main character, one of the main characters is one major who is um assigned to this squadron, and she doesn't agree with all this the society that treat them as a slave. So she's always like kind towards them, and she tries to understand them as a person, and the story just follows the battalion fighting and the relationship of the major with the battalion. And what can I say, it's just really really good. I think the relationship between them is really special, and the way that they develop, or they develop the character of the major, I like it a lot as well. Even though they are not physically in the same place, they were able to connect the battalion to the major, and this is really special for me. Also, the other main character is basically the leader of the this battalion, and he's also, I didn't like his personality at first. He was one of those, I don't know, kind of, he sounded kind of those gloomy edgy characters, but in the end he was definitely not like that. As I imagined. He really had like a heart, and he had a reason for doing what he's doing, and he was also had the burden of the whole battalion on himself. This was also something that was, they kind of make you understand through the anime of how heavy is his burden. But I think if I want to highlight just the most important point of this anime for me is really the relationship between the characters and how attached you feel to them. I will not spoil everything, but there are some kind of heartbreaking moments as well during the anime. Also, there is a moment where you stop to think of like what why are they doing this to those people and stuff, like it's how can you treat a human person as they are not human. So this is kind of, it was a very interesting anime. I think the ending was kind of, I was not expecting something different than that, to be honest. People say that the ending could be better, but I think it was kind of fitting to what the anime proposed. It kind of hinted. I don't know if it's really a hint for a second season in the end. I think it could be, because if I'm not mistaken, the light novel is based
I
on a
think
light
there
novel.
is a second season already announced. If I'm
Really?
not wrong, yes. I think even soon. I think in 2 seasons or so.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. So if there is a second season, it could also be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they will follow up with the whole anime, because yeah, the first season was for me really really good. I rated as an 8, I think, in my anime list, or a 9. I'm not sure at the moment, but it's definitely was definitely one of the highlights of the season for me. One of the animes I was expecting during the whole week to watch.
I think I rated it also as an 8 or perhaps 7, but yeah, it was also for me a good anime. My main issue was it felt a bit sometimes a bit too constructed for me, especially this getting this connection to the people. And the problem was the squad was quite big, and every time when it started with some character and you kind of started to like this character, you knew already in the next 10 minutes this character will die. And it happened so often that it at some point just for me didn't hit hard anymore when a character died. So in the end it was just these two main characters, so Milice and the general and the girl, and the Undertaker. So those two were in the end like the only ones where you could like connect to. Um, yeah, but it's cool. I would definitely continue watching it when the next season comes out. Yeah, and it's from shit. From which studio was it? It was from really really good studio. I remember from the July in April studio.
Is the Your Lying Aprons, isn't it from? No, it's not from PA.
No,
It's
it's A1 Pictures. Yeah,
A1
so one
Pictures.
of my favorite studios. Even so, I
Mhm.
forgot the name. Whatever. But yeah, it looks also really awesome. Um, it has a really great animations also. Um, I'm really curious how it will go on now because the ending was kind of felt like an ending more or less.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's see. I'm curious. And the funny thing is, I also so Ruth really liked it, even way more than I did, and she also wanted to read the light novel because of this. I think she even downloaded it already. And I heard that in the light novel, they even talk less about the character, but more about the situation. So I was surprised because I thought it would be exactly the other way, that you in the light novel have even more about the different characters.
Mhm.
I think they really should have made it a bit longer. So also just for this part of the story, just to make it longer, could have worked better. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There was definitely content for 2 seasons in this one season. Definitely.
Yeah.
I completely agree on this point.
Okay. So what was my third place? So the last time it was Shadow House, and yeah, Shadow House didn't stay in third place. Sadly, I don't know, it just lost a bit of the mystery. It's still not bad, but it became really a bit more shonen like, and when some parts of the mystery got solved, it already, I don't know, it didn't build up on that. It didn't use this information to make me more invested in it. So yeah, it's not Shadow House anymore. And instead, it is Vivy, which was my first place, I think, at the beginning of. No, it was not. Fumetsu was this first, so it was my second place.
Second
So
place.
also, I have a new second place. Um, but yeah, Vivy. Vivy was awesome. In my opinion, it just missed the last moments. It could also have been a bit longer. Um, Matsumoto is one of the best characters of the season. He's awesome. I love this guy, this cube. he's, he's super funny. I like this character a lot, and also the connection and the energy between him and Vivi um, worked really perfect. It has a really huge long story. In the end, it was a bit, yeah, I don't know, it lost a bit in the end, but it was still epic in the end and was still an awesome ending. So it still has 8 or even 9 perhaps. Um, so doesn't mean it's bad just because it's my third. But yeah, watch Vivi really. If you want to watch 12 episodes or 13, I think it had episode anime, which is really, really good. And you just afterwards can say, okay, I watched this, was nice and had a great time. Then yeah, watch this. It's for me close to a masterpiece. There is like small details missing. The animation is awesome. It's detailed. I talked already in the first episode about it, but these zooms to their faces and when it's a bit different drawn is crazily good. Yeah, had everything I liked, sci-fi stuff and so on. There were, of course, some episodes which were a bit less good. That's why it's only third place, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I was also watching Vivy during the season,
I'm
and I
really
also
curious about your opinion.
yeah, I also really like it. I rate it as a 8, if I'm not mistaken. As you say, the last few episodes felt kind of off, especially the one before last. It was kind of off, but in general, I like it as well. I really like it. I think it was a cool mixture that they did between music and the sci-fi and the plot. How they put the music in the plot, it was really cool. Like because she is a singer, right? Like a kind of an idol robot, and
Diva.
making yeah, and making her the her mission kinda of like singing to the people and make people happy through this their singing. It kinda goes through the whole plot. This is kind of what carries her forward through the plot and make all her decisions through it. And I think this is kind of a cool way to introduce the music in this anime because the music is there even in the title. It's Vivy Fluorite Ice Song. So you kind of knew that the music had some kind of piece in this plot. And yeah, I think this is what I appreciated the most in Vivi, just how they approached music there. But yeah, I agree, it could have been better executed at some points. Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. I also would recommend to anyone who would want to watch some kind of sci-fi. Yeah, it's not something to relax because it's really a action-packed anime, and yeah, it's also kind of fun at the same time. It's cool to see like some mysteries being solved. Not really mysteries, but how the plot is evolving and how the world came to the point where they have to save it. It was also kind of interesting to see this being developed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it as well.
it's a lot of action, a lot of sometimes surprises in this. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what is your second?
My second place is one anime with a big name and that comes to a light novel, and it's Higehiro. So their full name is Hige wo Soru Joshite Hiro wa Kosei or something like this. Yeah, I probably misspoke, so sorry already. But yeah, it's about. I think we talked about this already in the last
In the fifth
episodes.
episode. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was. I mean, it was your. I think it was the. What's also your second place there, right?
I don't remember to be honest,
Yeah, I
but I
think
think I
Shaman
know it
King
was
was
in
third,
mine.
and this was
Yeah,
second, or
yeah,
other way around. Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah, and just shortly summarizing what it is about again, it's a high school girl who, so okay, not, I'll start by the guy. So there is a guy who is like a regular worker, the salaryman, as they call in Japan. He's a developer, and he's coming back home one day, drunk, and he encounters a high school girl in the middle of the street, and the girl asks if she can sleep with him It's so if she would sleep, if he would let her sleep at his place, she would basically have sex with him. So he's basically taking her home, but not making sex to him. Spoiler alert for the whole season, he doesn't have sex with this girl. It's a high school girl, so it would be out of law. So, but the anime instead, it's really not like something like naughty or kind of ecchi or anything. That is the ecchi level is almost non-existent in this anime. The anime instead focus on the relationship between their two, and there are some more support characters, but I don't think they are really the focus of the anime. The focus is really on the main characters and what's their relationship and how both of them make each other grow as a person. So the influence of her in his life and his influence on her life, this is the most important point in this anime, and it's for me it was really fun to see them grow through the anime and see how, especially her, I think her character development for me was the best in the anime. I could really see her decisions changing from the start to the end, and you can see how the past experience that she had in every single episodes affects the outcome of how she thinks in the sequel in the next episode. I think she has really a solid, she really grows as a character, like really solid. And I mean, she's a high school girl and she will do stupid stuff every single episode, but I still think that she it's really they did a good job in showing how the guy affects her, basically. Also vice versa, although not as much in my opinion as the girl, but the main character also grows through the episodes, and I think he grows more even through the side characters, so the characters who are around him. They also kind of make him understand the what's he doing like bad during like in his character, like in his inherent character, is he doing bad, and what can he improve in his character. And I think I see kind of some improvement in how he is, but his essence becomes the same through the whole anime. He's just a really really nice guy who puts other people in front of him even. So it's kind of cliche, this character who's like selfless character who, yeah, I'm always thinking about other people before me, but it's still kind of interesting to see, and I really really like it. I really really like it, this anime. I scored this a 10. I didn't expect to score as a 10 in the when I started to watch. It was still my second place, and it was my second place, and I think it still is my second place. But for a romance kind of anime, a romance anime, it's for me it's flawless. A romance drama anime, and what I think it really likes, what makes me really like this anime as well, is that it's one of those romance that when you read the synopsis, you think it's also like kind of a rom-com. It would be like some comedies here and there. What makes the episodes enjoyable or kind of makes the episodes be like 24 minutes is like the comedy they put in the middle. But this anime has no comedy at all. It's not to make you laugh. It's not to like watch to make you watch and like, yeah, there is this romantic situation and they put some comedy there. Oh, there is this clumsy girl doing stupid stuff and the guy going after her, or the guy doing stupid stuff because he's leaving to some situations. No, it's definitely not. It's not about that. There is no comedy at all. This is just an anime about how those two characters make each other grow, and I think it really really achieves this purpose at the end. It's cool also because it's only 13 episodes and it covers the whole light novel. So it starts and finishes in those 13 episodes. So yeah, if you want to, it's really definitely a recommendation I can give. If you like some light romance drama, it's kind of romance because the romance between them is implied only. They cannot have a romance, right? It's a adult guy and a high school girl, but still they introduce this romance theme really uh, kind of flavorful. It's not like they just put it there and they make him, yeah, I want to grab those girl boobs or whatever. They don't put any like stupid etchy there. It's really wholesome. It's really 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 good.
Yes, so for me, I think I scored it as 6. So it's kind of interesting because we don't have that so often that we completely kind of have different
Disagree
opinions.
with stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ruth even said she put a 5 there. Um, I don't know. I watched this with my girlfriend, and um, like we talked about it before in this episode, and during that time I was still also intrigued by it and was like, okay, it's cool that he takes her with him and that he's not really trying to do a move on her or anything, and that it's kind of wholesome and it's like, yes, like just romance and slice of life, so not too much happening and so on. But my problem was really that after, like, I don't know, 6 episodes or so on, for me it kind of was over. So it was just like the whole time the same, and every time it was like, oh, it was the best that I met you, and without you my life would be not the same, and so on. And that became so boring and annoying at some point that it really reminded me of the rom-coms I know from my mother, who is like watching those whatever, um I don't know how it's called, this these
Soap operas.
soap operas, yeah, kind of. And it just gets so annoying. And then I was still hoping for the idea of what is the reason why she left from home and so on. And then it's just her mother really being an asshole. And yeah, I know it's also because of some other situation, but mainly it is because of what her mother did. And I don't know, it just didn't, from there on it was just like, okay, and what do you do now? And then they went to her, and then they find out the mother's still an asshole, and then they say 5 times every other person other than Shoyu say, oh, it is the best that you found her, and without you it would be really bad for her. It's really good that you found her. Like, really, if I could make a stroke list with that, it would be at least 20 times in 3 episodes that they say they have the exact same dialogue, just different characters with the main character. And that drove me kind of crazy. It was really annoying at some point. So I don't know. And then I think that point it just didn't it also couldn't touch me anymore. It couldn't not reach me anymore. At that point when it became just too annoying. And the same for, like you said, the other characters are not really that important. Um, uh, Also for him, not, and some characters I'm really wondering why are they there? Even like this one woman who always wants to go with him on a date and who always wants to go with him in the cinema. So she's then there, then she talks with Shoyu, and you think like, okay, they will somehow a connection or so on. But no, in the end she's just gone, and it's just basically nothing. I don't know. And my other big issue was um the animation was okay. It was not really, really good, I would say. They were in close to every picture at the point when it didn't connect to me anymore. There were, at least at in any picture, there was always something which just that didn't seem right. Either it was the head was a bit too big compared to the body, or it was the door behind him was way too big. And the problem is also in the backgrounds they tried to use a bit more realistic stuff and then the animation in the front, but it doesn't fit together, and also it sometimes feels a bit clunky. I don't know. It really at this point, it really was hard for me to enjoy it a lot. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I definitely had no issues with the animation at all. It's definitely not a masterpiece of animation, of course. It's not completely gorgeous or use any different technique or anything, but the animation was not bad. I didn't have any issues with that.
yeah,
Doesn't
it was
didn't
not
felt
bad. It was
clunky.
not really bad. Like I said, it was okayish, but the problem was at the point where I just didn't connect with the story anymore. I could also not, the animation could also not compensate that.
Yeah, it's at the point where everything annoys you, right? You just don't like it, so anything it does, you just annoy you, I suppose.
Yeah, I wanted to like it and I wanted to find a point, something which could compensate this. Okay, they are just having the same dialogue now the 10th time, but yeah, it just didn't work. And I don't know.
Yeah, I just have to completely disagree with the reason of she leaving her place and running out of home at the same place. I mean, what the fuck? The girl was completely traumatized. What? And you can definitely understand why. Is not only because of her mother being an asshole. Okay, her mother was an
It's
asshole,
if her
and it's
mother
part
would be
of the
nice to her, then it would not be, then she would most likely not have left.
yeah, yeah, the
That's
breaking
what I
point,
mean.
but it was just kind of her behavior was kind of the camel who broke the straw, the
Yeah, I
the
understand what you
straw who
mean.
broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's and yeah, it's I don't know, maybe it's just a situation where we just have completely different views of something because for me it was definitely enjoyable from start to end. Yeah, and but
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm really curious. What is the like like Vivi? I'm really already. I want to rewatch it. To be honest, to just have like this whole story in once. But Higehiro, I could never rewatch. And I think if it would be 24 episodes, I would have most likely dropped it. I don't know. I don't know that there was just this point at which it just was not enough anymore to just say all the time the same for me. Like,
yeah, okay, yeah. I think we just have different views because for me every single episode was different than the previous. It's like they going through a different situation and they kind of making each other grow and also has the feeling of kind of it's heartwarming to see their relationship. That's something I didn't mention. It's really heartwarming. It was really heartwarming for me to see their relationship through the anime, and this is also something I really enjoyed. But yeah, I think it's just one of those situations where you
yeah,
agree to disagree.
yeah. I would be curious if you at some point would rewatch it. If you
What
because
Higehiro or
Higehiro, yeah.
I
I
don't
think.
rewatch animes usually, so
Ah,
it's really
okay,
hard that
okay.
I rewatch something.
Ah, okay,
Has to be
yeah,
a special reason. Even
okay.
when there is like a second season coming of an anime that I watched, I don't know, 3 years ago, I still don't rewatch the anime. I just
Ah, okay,
watching
okay.
something else.
Cool. Yeah, I just think if you watch like all episodes in one rush, then it's more obvious how often it repeats itself. At least would be my feeling. But I don't
Yeah,
know. Like
yeah,
I
I don't
said, I
know
really
because
wanted to like it. It was just at
uh-huh.
some point just not possible anymore.
Yeah, I also how do you say? I recommended this to also some other friends, and there is a friend who also scored as a 10. I was so happy because I was thinking, okay, am I the same? Am I the only one who did this? And the guy was like, yeah, it's one of really good rom-com and not rom-com, but a really good romance and stuff. I was like, okay, good. I'm not the only person in the face of Earth who
I could
really like
imagine
it
that
this
it's
one.
also connected with, like you said, you watched a lot of anime rom-coms where you said like there is always this comedy part and so on, so they are like always structured the same, and this one was more structured like the normal rom-coms, I would say, like what you have
But it's not a
in
com. It's not a
yeah,
rom-com
or the
because there's no
normal,
comedy.
yeah, exactly, like the normal romance movies or whatever, was more structured like that. And perhaps as I watch more movies and stuff like this, it's for me was not so special that it was like that.
Could be as well. Yeah.
I could imagine. Okay, but yeah, let's let's agree to disagree and go on with the next one. From my side, right? My second place is and it came out of nowhere. It was not in my top three before. Is Odd Taxi. So it even put Vivy behind it in the end. I thought a lot about it. So Vivy was for me. They are kind of both second place, I would say. Um, and Odd Taxi is really special in any way. So it has these animals, characters, but they so what is it about? It's about Odokawa, who is a taxi driver, and he basically has these encounters with different persons. He drives from place to place, and by this he kind of gets involved in their story, and each of these characters also has their own story. If I would compare it to a movie, I would compare it to perhaps LA Crash, where it's also about different stories, and in the end everything comes together, and he's basically this one person connecting everything. And yeah, I thought, okay, it's a walrus who is a who is a taxi driver, and the animation also doesn't look like it's it looks really unique, and but it doesn't really even look like it's an anime. I think I could even show this to people and they would most likely not even think it's an anime if I show it to some other people who are just into animation. um and it becomes so special. I watched like the first episodes, and they were so quiet kind of, and it was so mature. Like all the topics there are really more for connecting, I think, to people who are around 28 or older, like not the generation which is younger than us, for sure, because it's this taxi driver, and he's for example, there is one boy there, and he says like, yeah, I want to be famous. I want to make a really cool picture to post it on Twitter and get a lot of likes, and I want to really be famous. I want people to love me and so on. And Odokawa can not connect at all to this. So this is not really us. We can still connect to this Twitter, Instagram generation. TikTok is already hard for me, for example. It's still fun, but still already something where I kind of have a bit problems to connect to. And yeah, it's those old people, and then he's talking with friends about it, and they are also all like blubbering about the stuff and having references to really older stuff, like Bob Dylan and whatever, where you think like, okay, this is really really strange. And then the story goes on, and suddenly you have these characters which are animals, but they are basically more human than any humans you had in any movie or in any anime before. Like they really feel so much more like humans than anything else. And then there the one episode which made me like I really had goosebumps after that, and I was sweating. Was the I think it was the fourth episode or so, and it was about a character who was you have his whole life story, and it's a character coming out of nowhere. He was never in this anime before, and it just starts and explains his story. And he was always in school, like not popular, not too popular, and the only thing he had was like collecting some stuff which he liked, and also with friends did that, like we did also with Pokemon cards or whatever, with stickers when we played with those soccer stickers or so on at school. And yeah, if you had there the most, right, then you were sometimes in the school, at least you were like the bigger guy there, right? And he basically connected everything to that at some point, and he tried to get more popular by this. And he had another friend, or not really a friend, they were kind of friends and enemies at the same time, who had like more money and who had like the cooler stuff than he has, but he wanted to have also the coolest stuff. And then he used the credit card of his parents, and he got framed and lost a lot of money with this credit card. And his whole life from there on moved basically farther in that direction, and became worse and worse and worse and worse, until it then reached this one point where he thought like, oh, finally. And then it suddenly connects to Odokawa, and everything becomes something different. And it's, oh man, that was really, I had goosebumps, because you could just connect to it so much, especially as some person who is collecting stuff, who's interested in collecting stuff and so on. It was, yeah, basically goosebumps right now while talking about it. But that was just one episode, and there is so many other characters where you hear the story from, and in the end, everything connects together and everything makes sense, and it has an awesome ending. So yeah, I really have to say, Odd Taxi is one of a kind. I heard already more and more people talking about it, which I think is good, but I think it's really not popular enough. In the fifth episode, it was Vivy I said it should be more popular. Now I have to say, really, Odd Taxi. But I also think it will not connect to everybody, because it's just really slow paced, but also only until some point, because it becomes a real crime story. And yeah, it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, you recommended me to in the before the season started. It was one of no after the season started. It was one of those animes that I would definitely check if I didn't have that many animes in my list. I would definitely give it a go, but as there was so many and this one didn't exactly catch my attention from the start, I didn't put in my list. But I seeing you talking it, you also recommended me before this we recorded this video. I think I could definitely binge watch it like in a weekend or something like this. So I could, yeah, for sure. And I'm planning to do this. Maybe even tomorrow I could do this. But let's see. Because from what you said, it sounds really interesting. Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and it has 12 episodes. It's kind of finished, I guess. Um, it also has a lot of kind of mindfuck moments where you're like, don't expect at all, and then like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah, it's really really one of a kind. I didn't see anything like that. I also don't think it will be like in the Crunchyroll Awards, the anime which will win the best anime award or so on. But it's really special, and it's exactly one of those pearls which I always hope to find when watching animes during a season, and which also surprised me. Uh, so I guess what is your number one? We can say it both together, I think.
I have the faintest idea that is the we have the same one, I
And
think.
it stayed the same, I think also. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's Fumetsu no Anata E for sure. So last time we talked about, we only had watched the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, and we say that first episode was one of the best episodes we've ever watched in animes, and it was completely wholesome. It's a story in itself. You can only just stop and watch that episode, and if you like it or dislike, you can continue or stop the anime. And the most intriguing part is that the anime kept the high quality through the whole 12 episodes you watch it, right? So
Mm,
it's not completed yet. So this is going to be a full course. So it's going to
I think
be, I think, 20
20,
episodes.
yeah. Yeah, 20, yeah.
And right now there are only 12 episodes released, but up to this point, it kept the same high quality as it had in the first episode. I still think that the first episode is the best one out of all the 12, but I think that the quality didn't go down
Mm.
seriously. The the especially in the last episode I watched, the 12th, it was also really kind of heartbreaking, as heartbreaking as the first one. So just to give you a little bit of context, if you didn't watch the episode that we talked about it, the anime follows the story of kind of a being, which is not a human being, which is not an animal. It's a being created by a kind of a god, and he starts as a rock. And in the first episode, he becomes a wolf, and he has the ability of becoming stuff that he is connected to in a way that I will not spoil. So the anime basically follows the story of his being when he's living right now in the planet Earth. And the focus of this anime is really just making you cry, just trying to break your heart in every single way possible. It tries to make you cry and break your heart. In the first episode, I was already crying, and it didn't change through the whole anime. But yeah, it was my first place in the last episode. In the last episode we talked about, and it's still my first place because it is definitely so well done, so well done. In every because it is strange because in every there are kind of small arcs in this anime, and the arcs they have like 5 or 6 episodes around that, and it's every single time is really well constructed. There is a kind of a closed story in those 5 episodes, and it's really, really well constructed, and it makes you try to understand the characters and connect to the characters and to be heartbreaking and whatever happens with those characters. So I think this is really the strong point of this anime, trying to that it makes you connect to every single characters and put yourself in their shoes and being heartbroken whenever something happens with those characters.
I think it's doing what I would have liked 86 to be doing. Because 86 was always like, okay, we talk now about this character, and then this character dies at some point. Basically in the same episode, and no, a lot often happens a lot in 86. But in Fumetsu, it's crazy because they manage in such a short time, like this one episode, for example, the first one, to connect you to some characters in such a way that you really love those characters, and then they take it away from you at some point, and you just all the time hope, yeah, hopefully they don't do this, hopefully this doesn't happen, and so on. And it's so perfectly done, because that's so hard, because just imagine you would just not be interested in these characters, and then they would take it away, then it would be just a boring anime. But they they make you like so much love all these characters, and it's like every time you go through one funeral again. This is, yeah, really, really hard, but so well done. And then over all of these arcs, like you said, which are smaller, and with those characters, they still have like kind of an story, which also builds up only later. but a bigger story and a bigger mystery. You're interested in what is going on there. And yeah, I'm really curious. I mean, if this anime goes on like this, it will be will be a masterpiece. And basically this already, let's see where it goes to. I'm really curious if it, because it could be at some point just losing this magic, but so far it's so perfectly done. It surprises me every time. And also the music in this anime, like the music which makes you like sad and for the situations, and the timing, how everything is done, it's just, yeah, really good. Also from how it's crafted, it's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is already a masterpiece, and I hope it continues to be a masterpiece. I didn't score yet because I only score animes when they finish, but this will definitely be a 10 for me. At up to this point, it's definitely a 10.
Same, totally. Yeah, watch it. I mean, we already recommended one, so now we can assure you this was a good recommendation. Still
Yeah.
continue watching it. So yeah, then what, because you like to talk about that, and I and I want to give you that. So which was your favorite opening of this season?
Yeah, this is kind of a hard question. This season had a lot of good openings, especially, and some good endings as well. My and also some good internal music, like in the music inside the episodes. Uh, so I liked a lot the opening from Tokyo Revengers. This is from Official Hige Danjis, which is a very popular band in Japan, and I think this is the first time that they release an opening for animes. So this was kind of special, and the music is also really really good. The song itself. Um, I like the Vivy opening as well. It's really good. I already downloaded. It's so good. I mean, an anime about music, it had to be a good opening, right? And yeah, they achieved it. But the one I like the most is the 86 opening. It's
Good.
it's really good. And I like the ending like also a lot. And the internal musics, because the opening is really good, but the ending is from Hiroyuki Sawano in collaboration with a singer. Hiroyuki Sawano is a very famous composer of OSTs and inside music you put inside episodes. And he was working also in Attack on Titan, some really famous songs from inside Attack on Titan. It's also from him. So like the song when the Titans appears, those are from him, and also from a lot of animes like How to Know a Zero. Yeah, a lot of different animes. And his songs in 86, because it's not only one, and I already had all of them. They are really good. They are really good. It's on his level. I don't know, he's really regular. He has a really regular level. He always release such good music. And the singers that he collaborates with, they are all good. They are all really good. He even collaborated once with the Survivor Save the Prophet. I don't know if I
Survive, set the prophet.
exactly. So Survive Save the Prophet with the singer for one song, and the song is also really good. It's always like this. I think it's the Vinland Saga opening,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So yeah,
There's also a
86
second
opening.
season now, Vinland Saga, I think, right?
Yeah, it's
Looking
probably
forward to that.
it's probably scheduled already. So yeah,
Nice.
it's 86 opening, my favorite. And what about yours?
For me, the 86 opening is also one of the best. But my favorite one is from an anime which I didn't even score that high in the end because it had so much potential, to be honest. It had such situations where I thought like, okay, it's surprisingly good, and then it in the end it was really not. Nah, I don't know. That was just stupid. It's from Yuran, Prince Snow and Princess of Snow and Blood, and this is a really cool opening. Also, together with the pictures in the opening and so on, it works really good. It has a bit of a feeling of Vagyaki band. The singer sounds a bit also like her, and it has a really cool. It starts like really slow with this like kind of more traditional Japanese high singing voice, more like opera, and then moves in this faster direction, and I like that a lot. So, but sadly, the anime could not, yeah, was not exactly the same as the opening. Sadly, did you watch Yora completely?
I'm still 5 episodes behind, exactly
Mm.
because I'm not so much looking forward to when it was being released, so I left the episodes piling up. But I'll check it out. And I also didn't like completely the anime, but the opening I can agree it's really good as well. It's it's I think it's from Riona, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
every time I hear this opening, I think it's Ali Project singing. I was like, oh yeah, Joran has an Ali Project opening, right? But then oh no, it's Riona. It's not Ali Project.
And my favorite ending is from Shadow House. I like that a lot. I don't know. It has a bit of a feeling of. That's from Riona. Is it also from
Ah,
Riona? No, it
no,
was
then
from
then
Riona.
then
I,
no, then Jordan is from something else, I think.
both. That would be funny. When I can just search it. Sorry. I
Uh,
was like, okay, wait. Both?
ah, Reza Suilan,
Yeah,
the Jordan opening.
yeah, yeah.
Reza Suilan.
Okay, good. And yeah, the ending from Shadow House is from Riona. And it has kind of, it starts with like this bit electro thingy and a bit creepy voice, which is like whispering a bit, but kind of also sounding quite cute, which is like a bit, it reminded me a bit of a Japanese Billie Eilish. And then it's becoming more a bit faster and building up and has a lot of instruments in it and so on. And yeah, I like that a lot. So this ending was also really good.
Yeah, cool. Uh, but yeah, there was no shortage of good songs this season.
Yeah, there
I
were
really
a
like
lot.
it.
There were really a lot. Even the Nagatoro opening was addicting as fuck. It was.
Hmm.
And Nagatoro had, in my opinion, was really doing this cool because the opening was more like her character is like when you hear about the anime, like it was more like crazy, sometimes a bit harder and so on. And the ending was like the most wholesome ending you can imagine, kind of, with her running there like she's the cutest girl ever. So it was a really good mixture of opening and ending.
Yeah, true.
Cool. And then saying Shadow House ending was my favorite. What was your favorite character?
Favorite character. Um, I don't know if I have a favorite character this season, but if I would have to choose one, it would be Fushi from Fumetsu no Anata E. I like him. I like the way he's oblivious to everything, and
But March was also really good.
yeah, March as well. True.
Yeah, Fumetsu
Also,
had,
Google. It's
yeah, Fumetsu had
I
so
like
many
Google
good
also a lot.
characters. That's what I mean. They managed in such a short time to become the favorite character. And other animes, you watch 12 episodes and you say, I cannot say what is my favorite character. Um, for me, it's Emilico from Shadow House. This girl is just cute. It's just from beginning. She's just cute, and she reminds me a bit of Emma from Promised Neverland, and also her I liked a lot. And the other one, and I think this is the one I have to say as my really favorite character, is Matsumoto from Vivy. This cube is so good, and I think the the voice actor definitely deserves an award for what he did as a fucking cube to be like one of the
To
best
give a
characters.
personality, right? A whole
Yeah, it was
personality.
so good done. I really loved this sarcastic tone of him and so on. Yeah, it was just awesome.
I can definitely agree. It was really well done.
Nice. So we finished the season. It's over now.
Yeah,
Next
it
season
was.
starts soon.
Yeah, it was a long and tiring seasons with so many animes. I think the next one will be not as crowded as this one, as we talked about in the last episode. But let's see.
Yeah, at least we took some learning away from it, not to
Hmm.
put too much in it. But yeah, in the end, it was good that we did because otherwise, Taxi I would not have most likely put on my list, and it's a pearl.
Yeah,
So, guys, thank you for listening and staying with us for this whole time on our journey through the last season. And we wish you a nice day and see you soon in the next episode.
yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Keep watching us and follow us on social media. Bye bye.